Hey guys, I'm back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at some leaked stuff coming to Prodigy, so let's get into the video. Alright, so we have a new Mythical Epic to look at, along with some pet gear and some names for some upcoming pets. So let's go ahead and start off by looking at this new Mythical Epic. Alright, so this is what it's going to look like. It sort of looks like a wolf, sort of like a mustelid maybe, and it definitely looks like it's going to be Storm. Sort of looks like the old Luminite colors in a way, and yeah, I think that it looks pretty cool. We can go ahead and look at its spine right here, which doesn't tell us much, but we can go ahead and put that together, and we can see that it does look like this is going to be a variant of Ceranox. So you can see that the wings sort of look like pterosaurs, I would say. And I don't know if I said the name of this. This is going to be called Galvagale. I believe the name for it was added last week, and I think I showed it in the video last week. So yeah, this is going to be Galvagale, and we can go ahead and look at its animations. So we're going to start off. This is its attack animation. So yeah, it's sort of just like summons lightning upwards, and yeah, it looks alright. Then we have the idle animation, which is about what you'd expect, and the walk animation kind of looks weird. I think Ceranox's probably also looked a little weird as well. Then we also have the hero pose, so this is called 389. This is just what it would look like if it were to be put inside of the old pet book style. I don't even know why they have these images anymore, but they do. So that was added to the Epic's V2 hero poses, so you can see that it's right here, alongside every single other Mythical Epic in the game. And then here is what the full hero pose is going to look like. So I think that it looks pretty cool. I also think that it sort of looks like Ceranox's, although I don't remember what Ceranox's hero pose looked like. It doesn't look like it at all, so I don't know why it felt like it did. So yeah, that is the Mythical Epic Galvagale. I think that we're going to go ahead and look at their spells, or at least what the name of the spells are going to be called. We don't have the stats for the spells or the stats for Galvagale yet, because they weren't added to the metadata, but we do have what the spells probably are going to be called, and we can also look at the description for Galvagale as well. But before we do that, we do have a few other images to look at. I have no idea why this was added. This is the spine for Matcha, which it looks literally the exact same compared to what Matcha looks like right now. So I don't know what they're doing with this. I never realized that they had the Florifox hat or the Big Hex hat right here, though. I only ever noticed the Daviday and Arcturus one. So I guess that's pretty cool, but it's nothing new, I would say. And then the final few image sets that we're going to be looking at are pet gear. So this is the first one. This is like a pickaxe inside a rock. This is going to be a pet hat. The next one that we have is sort of like a jester hat. And this is actually going to be called like Constello hat, I'm pretty sure. So I guess this is sort of going to probably be for Starlight Festival, I would assume, because the colors definitely do look like Sir Constello. It looks more like something that Pippet would wear, or an astral version of Pippet would wear, but that's probably never going to happen. So I guess this will probably come for Starlight Festival. Then we have another pet gear relic. This, I don't even know what it's supposed to be. Sort of looks like a dice with a lot of sides, but it's probably not. And then the final thing that we have is a pet relic. This looks like it's going to be Sir Constello's shield. And then moving on to some stuff in the data. This is what the description for Galvagale is going to be. So it's going to say Galvagales appear only during Aurora. They love to dance among the ribbons of magnetic storms. So I believe that we did see this last week. It was just as the flavor text is what they call it. I call it the description. For the pet version of it, this is what the follow version is going to be like, which is pretty much the exact same thing. And then we also got some of the like movie themed stuff added as, or at least we have the descriptions for them now. And I guess we also have the names for a few of them as well. So I think that the next treasure track, which should be coming out in, I guess, 2 days, could potentially have some movie-themed stuff in it. So this is going to be Mount 49, and it says a tasty snack that comes with you wherever you go, perfect for watching a movie. And this is going to be the popcorn mount. So I think this will probably be in the next treasure track. Then we have Pet 331, which is going to be Alfar. I don't think this is yet in the game. I don't even think that we know what it's going to look like. There are a couple of pets that got like descriptions added today that I don't think are yet in the game. So that's going to be pretty interesting to look at. But this one for Alfar says, like a rainbow, Alfars appear in the sunlight after heavy storms. Wizards able to find one are exceptionally lucky. So that is Pet 331, Alfar. Then we have this one, which I think is going to be a naughty evolution, which would put it, I believe, in the Crookfang line, if I'm remembering the names correctly. And that would be, and it says, unlike naughty's fin maws spend extended periods on land, they don't just hunt prey on the beach, they also kick over sandcastles. So I don't know what fin maw is going to look like, nor do I know what Alfar is going to look like. I have no idea what chain Alfar is going to be a part of. I'm pretty sure it would be safe to say fin maw is going to be part of the naughty chain. Then we have Ice Bite, which this one says, Ice bites get their name from their habit of crushing blocks of ice between their powerful jaws. I don't know what chain Ice Bite's going to be a part of. Also, I think all of these are not going to be unique pets. I think Alfar and Ice Bite are going to be part of an evolution chain. I'll get into why I think that in a little bit, because there's something in here that sort of supports that. Then we have a few other ones right here. Experience trackers find boggles by the distinctive moss beds that they make on the forest floor. So we'll have one called Boggle. I have no idea what that's going to be a part of. Then we have, despite its name, a Sarah Wing can spend its entire life underneath the floor's canopy. I guess Boggle, Sarah Wing could potentially be part of the same chain. I think that Boggle and Sarah Wing could be new. Sarah Wing is definitely going to be new. Not sure about Boggle. Sarah Wing will probably be the seahorse variant for plant. Then we have Satyrs right here, which it says Satyrs hold the record for the loudest call. Their chirps can be heard in entire forests away. So that sort of sounds like it's going to be a bird. I don't think that we have any bird style plant pets, so I don't know what that's going to look like. Then we have the gems on Cuddlebolt's head is dangerous to touch. Fishermen trying to remove it have received unpleasant shocks. I think that this is supposed to be the squibble variants, maybe, just based on the fact that we have like fishermen, which would be water, and then we have shocks. I guess it could also be like an eel themed, but I think that we are supposed to get a squibble themed electric type, so, or not electric, storm type, so maybe that's what it's supposed to be. Then we have one that says, by rubbing their tentacles together, callous storms generate static charges to stun prey and predators alike. And then we have 384, which it says, as undisputed lords of the sea, Kraken Thor are both fearsome and elusive to all but the best divers. So I think, again, Kraken Thor sort of sounds like it would be part of the squibble line based on the Kraken right here. So I think that that's probably what this is going to be for. I think that the plants, seahorses, and if this is the Storm Squibble line, I think those could potentially be in expert mode, because we did get variants for 5 different types of pets when hard mode came out. They're probably going to add 5 more new pets for expert mode as well. Then again, as I was saying earlier with the circus theme stuff, we got the drama masks and the film reel added their names and their descriptions. So that's again why I sort of think the next treasure track could have some movie themed stuff. But we did also get some of the other pet hats, like the octopus hat and I guess, tropical snorkel. Both of those got descriptions and got the names added. So I guess it's not super set in stone that we'd be getting the movie themed stuff in the next treasure track, but that's kind of what I'm leading towards. And then, as I said, the Sir Constello themed hat is going to be called Constello Jester. The other one will be called the Constello Shield. And then at least one of these spells for Galvagale is going to be called Aurora. I thought the other ones had been added to the game. I guess they haven't, or they might already be existing spells. Or they could be any one of these spells that was added today, which I'm not going to go over the names of them. I guess it could be like Arctic Attack or something like that. Or those could be for a different ice pet. But up here, we can see that there's Follow 364, Callistorm, then there's Follow 365, Boggle, Alfar, Finma, and Icebite. Those all sound like they're going to be released as Pets of the Week, based on the fact that there is going to be a follow version of these. These are all supposed to be names of pets, but they have a follow version as well. And as we should know at this point, if they're going to be getting a follow version, that's probably going to mean that they're going to be Pets of the Week. So I think that these 3 will be released, or these 5 should be released as Pets of the Week. And then down here we have, I believe, the final 3 pets. So we're going to be looking at Xenonite, Greater Xenonite, and Aged Xenonite. These names are pretty interesting, and I guess their descriptions are a little interesting as well. So we have Xenonite is animated by shadow magic. Since it doesn't have eyes, Xenonite sees with echolocation. Xenonite is Great Friend Statement. I don't know what this does mean. There's something grammatically incorrect about it. Kind of sounds weird, so I don't know what that part's supposed to be about. And then we have the one for Greater Xenonite, which says they grow by absorbing magical energy and materials in deep caves in the mountains. And then we have Aged Xenonite, which says, though made of minerals, Aged Xenonite move with grace, often found in a maze. So, again, that one's a little weird as well. These sort of sound like the crystal monsters to me, just by the fact that there's the minerals right here. We have them being found in caves, which, of course, Crystal Caverns was inside of a cave. And then they also don't have eyes, which none of the crystal monsters have eyes. I don't think that those are what the crystal monsters are going to be called, but I think that it could be some sort of like crystalish pet maybe. And again, the animated by shadow magic, again, the crystal monsters were animated by shadow magic, so that could be, again, pointing sort of towards crystal monsters being pets. And then the final thing that we have to look at actually has to do with the dragon statue over here, because if you click on it, it actually shows some new text that hasn't been in the game before. So this is actually really interesting. It adds some lore to the game. So you can see it says Carcass the Terrible, in honor of the brave wizard who wielded the dragon's bane, one to defeat Carcass the Terrible. The name on the bottom of the plaque is just too scratched and worn down by time to read anymore. So I think that it had been theorized for a while that this statue was supposed to be of Carcass the Terrible, but it was never confirmed. So the fact that this pretty much confirms that is pretty cool, and it adds some lore to the game. Although I don't think Carcass the Terrible is too important to the overall story of Prodigy, it is still a nice piece of lore to add to the game. But yeah, that is pretty much everything that we have to look at today, so that is going to go ahead and end the video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, and bye.